And they sort of felt that it was very unjust to talk that badly about her and to plot in that political way against her. They also felt there is something behind that accident. They don't know what, but something.
Can I move to you, Tatiana? You're a student from Germany. Why did you feel you wanted to be here today?
She's been a role model for me ever since I was small. I think I speak for a lot of other people as well. She was the princess when I was small, and I grew up with her, knowing a lot about her life, basically feeling that I knew her myself.
And from Hyde Park, where people are waiting, the funeral cortege due to pass in perhaps an hour's time on its 1 hour and 47-minute journey to Westminster Abbey, back to the studio.
James Forlong, thank you.
So the route is packed now with people. The cortege will set off shortly after 9:15 from Kensington Palace.
You're watching coverage from Fox News' sister network, Sky News, in London.
You're watching Sky News' continuing coverage of tributes to Diana, Princess of Wales, on this, her funeral day. One man's tribute to Diana could only have come from Hollywood. In fact, right above Hollywood. This is the work of a skywriter, Greg Stinnes, and he crafted a tribute 5,000 feet long in the air over Los Angeles. His tribute, he said, to give the princess a big hug in the sky. The meaning? Diana, Queen of Hearts.
Of course, part of Diana's appeal lay in her very modern image. She was a lover of music and a fan of many of the most popular bands. Indeed, the world of rock and roll embraced her. Once shy and self-conscious, she soon became their princess of pop.
From the moment she was romantically linked with Prince Charles, it was felt Diana would simply fit in. Her hair, her dress, her voice. She was the original Sloane Ranger. Jane Fincher was one of the first photographers to capture those images on film. She went on to follow Diana around the world and witnessed firsthand her transformation.
I mean, she was a very sort of innocent, naive dresser, you know, very Sloane-y, no particular individual, no glamour for sure, you know, very self-conscious of her body, so clothes that didn't really show it off, and just very young and unsophisticated in her clothes. She said later on, many years later, that she didn't look up. She knew where we were because she could hear the ladders clanking along the road, but she couldn't look up because she just couldn't face looking up at us all. But all the time it was head down, no eye. You could never take a picture of her with her eyes because her head was always down.
After her marriage, she fulfilled her duties as part of the firm, as the royals called themselves. But she was a shy teenager no more. With the public's adoration and support, Diana carved out a niche for herself.
Her wardrobe was expanding and these sort of dresses started coming out, and she was obviously enjoying the fashion side of her role at that stage. But really, sort of, you wouldn't say she was becoming really confident about 84. And then 85, when she went into her sort of dynasty stage, where she was really, oh, I've got a body and I've got blonde hair, and then it changed.
It was all a departure from tradition, a departure her husband and the royal family could do nothing about. The princess dazzled in the latest designer creations, mixing with the top names in showbiz, moving the monarchy into the 20th century.
She came in at a time when the royal family, really, their idea of trendy was, you know, the 3 Degrees. And then suddenly we've got a princess who liked Wham, who liked Duran Duran, all the bands who were big at the time. It was a revolution, really. You know, that never happened before. She really was a pop princess. She would dine regularly at Elton John's house, and I remember one party where she found herself sitting in between Richard Gere and Sly Stallone. You know, these were amazing parties, and these were friendships that she developed and weren't ever really covered in the press to any great extent.
She dripped showbiz, more at home at pop concerts and premieres with the stars than the grouse moors and the polo set. This was totally new for a royal. Tradition had completely gone out of the window.
The huge gulf between them of age and tastes and lifestyles and friends was one of the initial reasons the marriage went wrong. You can see it reflected in the children when they have photo opportunities with Charles. They're looking a bit glum and formal and stiff in suits and ties. All those pictures of them with Diana in baseball caps and T-shirts that the royal family disapproved of and sneered at, said this is not what royalty was about. This is what the people now want royalty to be about, and we hope and pray that those poor children can continue some vestige of what their mother instilled in them.
For them, their mother will never grow old. This will be her everlasting image.
Well, I think she brought a new sort of breath of life in the fact that she was very approachable and very touchy, you know, because, you know, the royal family, you know, although they sort of might be at a very good cause, they're not terribly touchy people, but she was always, she would always reach out, touch people, and that made a big difference to people, you know, and I think that brought a radical change.
The people loved her for it. The palace could never quite work it out. Diana was different. It was her unique approach that has resulted in such a huge outpouring of grief. Helen Morton, Sky News at Buckingham Palace.
Up to 6 million people will be lining the route today to witness Diana's funeral procession. Hundreds of millions more watching the procession on television. 430 million people watching Sky today from 60 countries. This is Kensington Palace and indeed Kensington High Street. That's where Diana's coffin, draped in the royal standard, will be placed onto a gun carriage in about 25 minutes' time to make the journey down to the Abbey. Why Kensington Palace? That's where Diana had her apartment. Moving on to Hyde Park, 2 giant television screens have been erected here for people who didn't actually want to line the route but did want to go into the centre of London today to appreciate the atmosphere, the sorrow, the loss of Diana, Princess of Wales. Of course, Hyde Park Corner, which is on the end of the park there, Diana's funeral cortege will be passing there on its 4-mile route. Moving then to Constitution Hill, which runs alongside Buckingham Palace, where many people have been gathering from the very early hours of this morning. The royal family, including the young princes, rested at Buckingham Palace overnight. This is where they will be joining the procession to Westminster Abbey, up along the Mall to Horse Guards Parade. You see, of course, the balcony at the bottom where Diana waved to us such a long time ago now, isn't it, after her wedding to Charles, Prince of Wales. Moving on then to Horse Guards Parade, some 4 miles this procession in total, and some 6 million people or so expected to line the route to pay their last respects to the people's princess. Moving finally to Westminster Abbey, the famous church which has been the setting for royal coronations and funerals for almost 1,000 years. Diana attended the wedding of her very good friend, the Duchess of York, there.
And we'll be taking a look in detail at that unique service which is going to take place from 11 o'clock. The guests will be arriving at the Abbey from about 10:15. Let's get a bit more of a feel of the crowd. Alison Jack is in Hyde Park. Alison, what's happening there?
Good morning. Well, here in Hyde Park, we've just got the first pictures on the giant screens which have been erected here, and there was a great round of applause when that happened. If we can just pan over to the screen, we can give you a look at the scene here in Hyde Park this morning. This is what everybody's gathered for. The events are going to be shown on these 33-metre high screens as they happen. It's going to not only take in the whole service, but also it'll be relaying pictures of events as they're unfolding around London. A massive sound system's been erected here. The idea is that the sound can be heard right across Hyde Park, and it's anticipated up to 1 million people will gather here. Many of the people here have been camping out overnight, and crowds are now pouring into the park as we speak. I've got some of the girls here who've been waiting for many hours. Leanne, Angela and Julianne, good morning to you. Now, you're from Glasgow, aren't you? And why have you felt that you wanted to come here today, Leanne?
Well, I just felt if I was still in Scotland, there would be absolutely no way I would be able to come. I couldn't afford it, and since I'm so close, I felt that it was the right thing to do. It made me feel better knowing I was only 20 minutes away. That's why I came.
You're on a training exercise at the moment, aren't you, to become air stewardesses? Angela, What does it mean to you? What does Diana represent to you?
I think she just represents someone that everyone admired. We all looked up to her, and it's just really a great loss. She did so much work for everyone. I think there was so much left for her to do here, and now that's all ended.
Julianne, it's your first time in London. Yeah. What do you make of it?
I just find it fascinating how so many people from so many different cultures and ages have all been joined together for one thing, and that's through death. And I think at the end of the day that people can reflect on this, and this is a nation all joined together in mourning.
How have you found the atmosphere here?
Very eerie, although calm. It's been very calm. It's been really touching. I think it's really brought it home now that she has died and she's gone. I think this will really bring it home to a lot of people now.
Do you agree with that? You were saying that you found the whole concept difficult to take in.
Yeah, I think even now I still can't quite believe it when I see pictures in the newspaper or on the television. It still hasn't really got to me. I think today by watching the service it'll now get, but I just find it really hard to believe. I just cannot believe it. It's like something that's not real. It's like it's not quite gotten here yet, but hopefully today it'll make it easier to accept the fact that we're not really ever going to see it again. That's the last thing.
I think we're royalists. We're not even royalists. There's never been any time in my life that I've ever looked to the royal family and with great admiration, but I think she's represented a woman who's very independent. She's had her ups and downs like all of us, and she's came through it. She was going through a happy time in her life, and it's all been cut so tragic, and we can reflect on that.
And it here will change now that we have the pictures on the screen. It's been a very calm atmosphere so far, and I think, as the girls have said, this really will now drive home the reality of what today's all about. Back to the studio.
Alison, thank you very much indeed. You're watching Sky's continuous coverage of the royal funeral today.